In this lesson, we are going to look at how to identify the main idea of a text. So you should ask yourself, how do I identify the main idea of a text? There are three main steps to finding the main idea. Number one, read the text very closely and perhaps several times to have a clear idea of what it is saying. Number two, choose 2 to 5 of the most important details from the text and write them down. And number three, look over these details and determine what they have in common. If you do this, you will have found the main idea. The learning targets for this lesson are: I can find and list the most important details in a text, I can determine and write down what all these details have in common, and I can state the main idea of a text. You should be able to rate yourself a 4 before you stop watching this video. So make sure you pause, rewind, and rewatch as many times as you need to in order to rate yourself a 4 on each of these learning targets. What I need you to do right now is carefully and closely read the passage Handwriting Secrets. I gave this to you in class. Read it 2 or 3 times if you need to in order to have a very clear idea of what the text is saying. If you read Handwriting Secrets carefully, you should know that it is about handwriting and the people who study it. All articles and stories have a main idea, and the main idea is the most important point about a topic that is communicated in the passage or text. Usually the main idea can be found at the beginning or the end of the passage, and then the majority of the paragraphs or pages include the important details that support that main idea. We're going to look at how that works now. So you should get out your worksheet. Your worksheet looks like this. The first thing you should do is where it states passage, write in Handwriting Secrets. Try to pull one important detail out of each paragraph. Reread paragraph number 1 now and try to write down what you think that paragraph is mostly about. Pause the video now and do that. After reading paragraph number 1, I determined this paragraph is mostly saying the way your handwriting slants may give hints about your personality. Now, reread paragraph number 2 and try to do the same thing. Try to write one sentence that states what that paragraph is mostly about. Pause the video now to do that. I have determined that paragraph number 2 is mostly about this. If you cross your T's hard, you may be strong-willed. If your O's and A's are wide, you are probably friendly. If they are narrow, you may be a loner. Pause the video now to do the same thing with paragraph number 3. I determined that the most important detail from paragraph number 3 is handwriting experts can help different people because of their ability to determine a person's personality through his or her handwriting. Do this one more time for paragraph number 4. And for number 4, I said handwriting might reveal many things about your personality. Your job now that you've identified all of the main details from the text is to agree upon one main idea, and that has to be generally enough and broad enough that it would include information about all of the main details that you found in the passage. Remember also that the main idea may be stated at the beginning of a text or at the end, in the beginning paragraph or at the end. So just because it can be an important detail doesn't mean that it can't also state the main idea. Do your best now to predict what the main idea might be, and then I will show you what I believe it to be. When I look at what all of these details have in common, I believe the main idea is handwriting might reveal things about personality. I believe this main idea encompasses and covers all of the important details from all of the other parts of this text. So to review, the steps to finding the main idea are: 1, read the text very closely and perhaps several times to have a clear idea of what it is saying. Choose 2 to 5 of the most important details from the text and write them down. And number 3, look over these details and determine what they have in common. Once you've done that, you've found the main idea. Pause the video now if you did not write down all of these notes, because I'm expecting that you have them all in class tomorrow. And last but not least, somewhere on your paper, please rate yourself in these learning targets. And just to review, I hope now that you know how to answer the question, how do I find the main idea of a text? Good work, and see you tomorrow.